What does it take to be a dirt track flagman? When you go to a dirt track, it is easy to get caught up watching the cars. The engines roar, dirt flies, drivers slide through the corners, and the crowd gets louder with every lap. But standing above all that action is one person who has a job that can change the entire race in an instant, the flagman, also called the starter. The flagman is much more than somebody who waves a checkered flag at the end of the night. That person is one of the track's officials and is responsible for communicating important instructions to the drivers. At some tracks, the starter can even have considerable authority over what happens on the racetrack. One track's rules, for example, specifically state that the starter has complete charge of the track while racing. So, how do you become a flagman? There isn't one universal flagman school that every dirt track starter has to attend. Unlike becoming a driver in a particular racing series, there generally isn't a single national license that says you are qualified to stand in the flag stand. Most flagmen work their way into the position through experience in racing and track operations. They may have previously worked as track officials, race directors, corner workers, scorers, or other members of a track staff, knowing racing rules, understanding how drivers behave, and most importantly, being able to make quick decisions are extremely valuable. A good flagman has to remain calm when 20 or 30 cars are charging into a corner and something suddenly goes wrong. There isn't much time to think, I wonder what I should do here. Do flagmen get paid? Yes, flagmen can be paid. However, there isn't a standard nationwide salary or fee. Compensation depends on the track, the size of the event, the flagman's experience, and whether the person is a regular track employee or working a special event. At a small weekly dirt track, the position may be part of a broader official's job. At a major touring event, the responsibilities can be much more substantial. And don't confuse the flagman's job with simply waving flags. Modern racing can also involve race control, radios, electronic scoring, caution lights, and other communication systems. The world of outlaws, for example, uses official communications to help manage events. Do they buy their own flags? Usually, the track or racing organization supplies the official flags and equipment. A flagman isn't normally expected to show up with a suitcase full of personally purchased racing flags. And those flags aren't just decorations, they are a communication system. The familiar set includes the green flag for racing, yellow for caution, red for stopping the race, black for directing a particular driver to the pits, white for the final lap, and checkered for the finish. The exact rules can vary between tracks and sanctioning organizations, but the basic meanings are widely recognized. Can a flagman invent his own flags? This is where things get interesting. A flagman generally cannot simply decide, tonight I am going to invent a purple and orange flag that means everyone needs to slow down. Racing flags are part of the track's official rules and communication system. Some organizations may use additional flags or slightly different meanings, but those signals have to be recognized by the drivers and officials. The whole purpose of flags is communication. If drivers don't know what a signal means, it isn't very useful. In fact, official racing rules can be extremely specific about what drivers are supposed to do when a particular flag is displayed. MPA rules, for example, state that only officials have the authority to stop a race, and that drivers may not use starters' flags to signal competitors. It is more difficult than it looks. Being a dirt track flagman requires concentration. Imagine watching a field of cars while keeping track of the leader, the rest of the field, possible accidents, track conditions, and whether a driver needs to be given a particular signal. Then imagine doing it with thousands of people watching you. A great flagman also has something that can't necessarily be taught in a classroom: timing. The difference between waving a green flag at exactly the right moment and waving it a fraction too early can affect an entire start or restart. The flagman has to know where the cars are, understand the track starting procedure, and communicate clearly. So the next time you are sitting in the grandstands and everybody is staring at the cars, take a second to look up at the flag stand. That person up there isn't just waving pieces of colored cloth. They're helping control the race. And when that checkered flag finally waves, they're the one delivering the most important message of the night. It is time to go to victory lane. Subscribe to Dirt Racing Fans 101 for more videos that help you understand and enjoy the world of dirt racing.